week's live stream. Today, I want to talk about parenting your inner child and kind of giving you my full guide on how to do this, the most effective way on how to parent your inner child, because it's so important. One of the things that I've learned in my journey and helping others with their journey to becoming healed and stating and being in the energy of I am healed is that a lot of the times when we have emotional triggers, it's not really the adult part of ourselves that are having these emotional triggers. It's actually the inner child within us, okay? And when we experience these emotional triggers, it's really our inner child screaming out to us, letting us know that, hey, we need attention on this. I haven't processed this. I didn't have the opportunity to process this when I was younger, or to process this emotion all the way through when I was younger. And so now, as an adult, it comes back up when we get emotionally triggered, or they, people say something or do something that makes us feel a certain emotion, right? Or, we're gonna put it like that for now. And so once you realize this, you also start to realize that you have to look at your emotions in a different way. And once you start to look at your emotions from the space of parenting an inner child, that's when you really start to realize that you need to be seeing your emotions as a kid, right? And really, we need to start seeing the world and everybody we interact with as a kid. But before I go even further, I just want to make sure that the chat is on. Okay, great, because last time it wasn't on. So when we have emotional triggers come up, right? One of the things I want y'all to realize is that a lot of adults are walking around the world. I'm talking the majority of adults right now. We're walking around the world with this inner child within us that never got a chance to process through all of their emotions that they experienced as when they were kids. And this does two things. One, it really empowers us to have more compassion for the other person, okay? So whenever somebody is like irritated with something that you did, or they snap at you, you have to realize that it's not that person snapping at you, it's really their inner child lashing out because there was something that happened in their childhood that they didn't have enough, or they didn't receive the attention that they needed to really process those emotions, right? Or process whatever had happened in that moment. And so I want y'all to realize this, because one of the biggest things that will serve you on your journey of stepping into the energy of I am healed is that you need to start to realize that whenever people get irritated with you or lash out at you, or even if they choose to take something you said personally, it's not on you, okay? It is not on you. It is on them. That is their emotions. That's their inner child, like lashing out. And I want y'all to recognize that it has absolutely nothing to do with you, okay? And I want you to really recognize yourself. I want you to really recognize that, let me see, I don't know. Okay, there we go. I want you to recognize that it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them, and they need to focus on themselves, okay? They need to focus on their emotions that are coming out, that are popping out, that are kind of telling them to pay more attention to those emotions, pay more attention to their own healing journey, okay? I want y'all to recognize that. It's very, very, very important, okay? Because again, when people lash out at you, it has nothing to do with you. And when I started to really practice that, every time somebody snapped at me or was rude to me for no reason, once I started to tell myself, this has nothing to do with me, this is their journey, it has everything to do with them, they need to process through that. It has helped me gain leaps and bounds in terms of prioritizing me, in terms of prioritizing my happiness, in terms of really stepping into a new reality of abundance, of love, of happiness. Just realizing that one fact, really, not even really doing my personal work. Once I really shifted my reality, once I really shifted my perception of other people and my interactions with them, that's when I really truly started to receive more in my life. I really started to receive more abundance, more love, more happiness, more adventure. I really started to receive my heaven on earth. But you absolutely need to recognize that it takes work, it takes awareness, and it takes practice. But if you're watching this and you've taken things personally at work or with interactions with others, whether it's your friends, your family, a stranger on the street, recognize that 9 times out of 10, if it's a negative interaction, it's because they haven't done the work that they need to do. You're really interacting with a kid or a child. You're not necessarily interacting with adults. So really come from that perspective, right? Because if a kid said something, well, I don't know, like if I met a kid on the street and he shoves me or something, I'm gonna look and see that's just a little kid. I'm not gonna yell at the kid, right? Because the kid doesn't really, probably is in his own or her own little mind, to the point where she might not even have seen me, right? But if we start to see everybody else as children, we can really start to tap into that more compassionate aspect of ourselves, okay? So this is also for those of y'all who are watching who have been told you need to have more compassion, you need to be more kind. That is one way to really start to tap into that energy of compassion, is by really starting to see everybody's just really children, because a lot of us haven't even done the work that we need to process out our emotions, to process out, not even process out, but to process our emotions, process our feelings, and really make room for more happiness and more positive, uplifting feelings to occur in our lives, okay? So you absolutely need to recognize that, okay? The second thing that this really helps with is giving yourself compassion, okay? People need to start to realize and give themselves more compassion for the things that they're ashamed of, right? It's really crazy because, like, there's things that I've been ashamed of from when I was like 7 years old. And it's really insane how, through my experiences, through my interactions with others, through, adults telling me to quote unquote grow up, right? Through those interactions, I started to kind of have that adult mindset, adult mindset at 7, meaning that I started to have this responsibility that I had to do everything perfectly. I had to do everything right. I had to be responsible for myself at 7 years old. And it's like, looking back now, I'm like, I really wish that somebody had told me, like, you don't have to have that mindset. You're 7. Like, if you break something, it's okay. You're 7 years old. Like, it's okay. You're a kid, right? And because I didn't tell myself that, every time, if something broke or I did something wrong, I would cower in fear, right? I would just be filled with fear and shame, be like, oh my God, I broke a glass. Like, sorry, I'm laughing now because I'm like, that's crazy. It's so crazy. But because I was conditioned to fear the consequences of breaking something, right? Or doing something, I don't even want to say wrong, doing something that somebody told me not to do, I carried that until I was an adult, to the point where I think there's like one time, a couple years ago now, where, what happened? Oh, well, okay, I guess we gonna be out here, we gonna say it. So I had allowed another friend of mine, I think me and my friend went out, and her boyfriend, I allowed him to drive my car, right? And because I wasn't gonna drive my car like at all. But he was sober, so not sober, but he was the DD of the night. So he drove my car, got into a car accident, and I was like, oh my God. And I was so ashamed at the mistake that I didn't even make, right? But I was so ashamed because my parents, they always told me, like, don't let somebody else drive your car. I was so ashamed with that I told my parents that, like, no, it was me that drove the car, even though it wasn't. And it's crazy because, like, even after that, craziness. But even after that, I still felt that shame, right? And I didn't let go of it. And I really had to sit with my inner child, not like the young adult version of me, but the child in me. For the first time, I felt shame, right? And I had to sit with her and be like, you know what? No, it's okay. You broke the glass. It's okay. It's just a glass. It's just a glass. That's it. There's no reason to feel shame. It's okay. Just be more careful next time. That's it. And this is one of the biggest tips that is really going to help you shift your mindset around your emotions and shift your mindset around how you express your emotions too and how you process them. You need to start to talk to that inner child. Okay. You need to start to talk to that little girl, little boy when you were when you were a kid. And something that I love to do, and I don't have it with me. I was supposed to have it, but I don't have it with me. But well, one thing that I love to do, I actually have like a little mini microphone. And whenever I feel the need to process my emotions or whenever an experience comes up that I've, experienced before time and time again, and I'm realizing, okay, if it's coming up more than once, then obviously I need to pay some attention to it. I have this like little microphone, and I kind of imagine the girl in front of me, and I give her the microphone, because a microphone, right, is very symbolic. Because when you think about it, who has a mic, right? People who are about to speak in front of hundreds of people or thousands of people, they're the people who have mics, right? A mic, it amplifies your voice. So especially if you are watching this and you have like a throat chakra blockage, or you have a blockage with your self-expression, buy yourself a little mic, okay? And let me see, hold on, let me grab it real quick. I think it's over here. Yeah, here you go. So buy yourself a little mic like this, okay? This is like it's actually a little recording microphone. See, it's just a normal recording microphone. But I always like give this to my inner child, and I'll tell her, here's the mic. All of the attention is on you. How do you feel? What's going on right now? What do you need to express? And just giving that space to your inner child is really going to help you, because again, these emotions that seem to be triggered by something or someone, it's coming from your inner child. So by giving her the microphone and by giving her the attention that she deserves, it's allowing me as an adult now to really release and let go of those emotions, to release and let go of what doesn't serve me, and to release and let go of these experiences that keep on happening over and over and over again, okay? And so especially if you have your little throat chakra, get yourself a microphone, okay? It's really just, it does wonders, I'm telling you, okay? And so when we experience triggers or emotional triggers, this is our inner child calling out for help. It's calling out to the adult in you. Hey, I need your support. The inner mother, the inner father that is in you, okay? And remember, we all have both. We all have both in us. So it's calling out to the inner mother, inner child, or inner father in you and saying, hey, I need help. I need support with this. I need you to see me. I need you to hear me. You have to give it space to be seen and heard, okay? And so that's what I want y'all to do. So whenever you get triggered, whenever you find an emotional trigger, and this is like anything, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be an interaction with another person. It could be a thought. It could be a memory that comes up and you're like, oh my God, like the emotions are coming up. I'm feeling them. Release them, but release them with intention, right? Okay. So when tears come up, you're like, okay, I'm crying for this specific experience because this memory came up. I'm crying to experience this emotion. And then at the end of it, I want you to say, and it is done, okay? Because we want to really intend that it is a healing. We want to intend that we're healed, okay? We're trying to make these leaps and bounds, okay? So we want to intend that we're healed. So I want you to come in with that intention whenever you're releasing tears, emotions, okay? And so when your inner child is calling for help, I really want you to recognize that this is not only, this call to process your emotions, it's also an opportunity for you to transcend, okay? In this like in this body, in this human body, we are here to really grow, transcend, expand, okay? And if you really want to experience the heights of this human experience, okay, I really want y'all to understand that we need to make ourselves light. Not light like the sun, but like as light as a feather. Like there's a lot of things really weighing us down, okay? Really, really weighing us down. Emotions is one of them. And one of the steps you can take to really releasing emotions that are weighing you down is by processing them with the intention that after a certain amount of time, after a month or 2 months or a year, usually about, I think for me, 9 months is pretty much good to go after that. But 9 months of intention and intentional work, it's done. You're all of the chains to the emotions that are weighing you down are released. And it's so important to do this. This is one of the things that is going to allow you to really be superhuman. Okay, this is where we're getting to. If we've seen all the videos of, what was the one? We've seen all the videos of these like superhumans, these people who are super smart, super strong, super agile, right? People who can fly. Like we are really trying to get to that point. Okay, they're not putting, like we're not seeing these how do I want to put this? We don't see and watch all of these shows and movies for nothing, okay? There's a reason why we see superheroes in the movie. Now, we don't get all the way into it for this one, right? But I'm really empowering y'all to be superhuman. It's time. We need to wake up, okay? It's time to be superhuman. And this is one of the ways that's really going to help you do that. But think about it. How do I want to put this? It's like that quote with great, and I don't know which Marvel, whatever, I don't know what show this came from, but with great power comes great responsibility. And I know that's so cheesy to say. I know it's so cheesy, but it's true. It's true, okay? Like think about it. You don't want to give power or superhuman abilities to somebody who's going to abuse it, to somebody who is still acting in their ego and their emotions, that's being pulled by each end by their emotions. You want to give it to somebody who is stable, who is focused, and who, not even stable and focused, but somebody who is at peace consistently. Okay, consistently is key. Somebody who isn't drawn by their emotions. And so processing your emotions, working with your inner child is going to get you there. Okay, it's going to get you there. It's one of the ladders that will get you there. The other thing you can do, you can sit down and meditate for hours. And when I say hours, I mean hours. And some of y'all are like, I don't know about hours. And if you're one of those people, then you have to just do the emotional process and don't worry about this part. But the other thing you can do is just, go to a monastery, become a monk, and meditate for a majority of the day, every day. And that's really going to help you a lot. And on one of those people too, like I was, I think like 2-3 years ago, where if you're one of those people who was like, I can't even meditate for 5 minutes, I really want to empower y'all to do a Vipassana, if you're ready for it, but Vipassana meditation. I have to say, sorry, it was like a little, like one of those gnats, Anyway, I have to say this. Before I did that, it was really hard for me to do even 30 minutes. And then after doing a very intensive, I think I did like 20 days. After that, it was like 30 minutes is a breeze. This is fine. This is fine. I still like consistently every single day do at least 5 minutes minimum. But I've just found that that's like the one time I can actually, well, I think this year it's 9 minutes, but last year it was 5 minutes. But anyway, my point is, if you go through like an intensive meditation, course or just, I called it a boot camp really, because we were really meditating like 16 hours a day. It was insane. It wasn't insane, but it was necessary. But if you really want to like kind of accelerate your meditation journey, I really encourage you to do that. Absolutely. Because it's gonna get you there real quick. And from my experience, it got me to the point where I committed to meditation 5 minutes a day for a whole year. I mean, that was like minimum 5 minutes, but usually I'll do like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And depending on the time of the year and a bunch of other stuff. But just commit to the 5 minutes at least. And it's really going to help you become superhuman if that's something that you're interested in. And if you're not interested in, that's totally fine, okay? But I really wanted y'all to understand, you know, this is like a journey that everybody, the whole world is on right now. And it's kind of up to you, especially if you're watching this and you stumbled upon this video. This is your sign, okay? This is your sign. You are ready and you are here to really empower yourself, to be abundant, be love, live in the heaven on earth, and really start to transform your life. And really transform the way you see the world, the way you interact with the world, and the way you live in the world, okay? It's like, it's such a beautiful opportunity to be human and to live in this reality. And I'm saying this from a space of having lived a very beautiful life. And I want to empower y'all to really live a beautiful life also because you deserve it. I don't care what anybody says, you deserve it. Every single person on this earth deserves it. And unfortunately, because we've been programmed to believe that we don't deserve it, it's going to take some work for us, some work, not a lot of work, but some work for us to get to the point where we know we deserve it, okay? So I really wanted y'all to really understand that, truly, deeply understand that, and understand that you deserve it, and that I'm here to help you and support you when you need to, okay? But we need to start paying attention to our inner child. We need to start loving our inner child, and we need to really start to commit to learning the tools to really love our inner child. And for those of y'all who are watching who are parents too, make sure to always prioritize yourself, okay? And also check Transformation to Expansion, the podcast. I have an interview with a conscious, a conscious parent coach, but she helps parents learn how to parent consciously. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into that right now. But I really want to, if you're a parent listening, I want you to really pour into yourself more, prioritize yourself more. And once you prioritize yourself, and you start to become more independent and loving within yourself, your kids are going to see that. And it's going to cause a chain reaction where your kids are going to start loving themselves more. Your kids are going to start pouring into themselves more. Your kids are also going to start being more independent, right? Because remember, kids, they come in with a blank slate. So any habits, any things that they do, it's coming from you or the other person in their lives that they spend the most time with, okay? So you absolutely have to remember that, and you have to really empower yourself to be the example for your kids, so your kids can really start to actualize their realities that they love, and really actualize their dreams in their lifetime, okay? So that's going to be it for today. Definitely tune in next week. We're going to talk more about the inner child and what it means to be superhuman. Okay. I love y'all so much. Peace.